Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be answering the commonly asked question, are hermit crabs cheap pets? So let's just go ahead and jump right into this video. So as you guys probably know, whenever I first got my hermit crabs, I didn't really know anything about them, and basically what happened whenever I first got my first hermit crab, it was at the mall, and basically they gave me one of those little critter carrier things, and then it just had like a little bit of sand in it, and then so I can't remember how much everything individually costed, but I do remember how it all ended up being in the end. But anyway, they also gave me a water dish with a sponge inside, which you actually shouldn't use those sponges. And I never actually did end up using that because I didn't know what it was for. So I had already thrown that away, and then once I actually started researching about hermit crabs, I did realize that was actually bad for them. So I was like, okay, well, it's good that I wasn't using it or anything. But anyway, and then they also gave me like little feed pellets, and and then I think just the hermit crab, and I think they gave me like maybe one or two other things that I really didn't need. Also, most of the stuff I ended up buying there because, once again, I didn't know anything about hermit crabs. I thought you had to have all this stuff. I wasn't even thinking about getting it cheaper anywhere else. It was all just super rushed. This guy was like convincing me to buy a hermit crab because we had actually already been thinking about it, like getting one. But yeah, anyways, so that's what they gave us, and that all ended up being $45. And so I was like, yeah, this isn't like that bad, and then I realized that we get home and we look it up and we realize that hermit crabs can't just live in that little critter carrier, which I have no idea why I ever thought that she could just live in that. And so I'm like, oh my god. And then I start hearing all this stuff about them needing humidity and all this stuff. Like, my mom had just looked this up. I was like 9 or something like that. I was like really little whenever I got my first one. I was like, okay, it's okay. I was like trying to cover my hermit crab. I was like, it's okay, we're gonna get you a big tank suit. Oh my gosh. So anyway, so my mom's like, okay, and I tried to give her the pellets. She wasn't eating them, so then I realized that she could have like unbuttered popcorn, which is still a treat that I give my hermit crabs like all the time, just plain popcorn, nothing on it, and they absolutely love it. So I've been doing that ever since the beginning. Carrots, like, I started giving her fruit and she started eating all of it. I realized that you needed to get more sand, so my mom went to the pet store. She bought me a 5-gallon hermit crab tank, and so her name was Ella. You probably have heard of her if you know my if you've been watching my channel for a while. But yeah, so I had a little 5-gallon with little Ella in it, and she started eating all of that, and then I started getting some like decorations and stuff for her tank. And yeah, so I think we ended up getting the tank like 1 or 2 days after we bought Ella. And at the time, and that tank was probably about $40 or so. And basically, okay, I'm sorry guys, I think I'm getting like really off topic. Okay, so basically, are hermit crabs cheap pets? Okay, we're about to get to it. Just bear with me a little bit longer. So we buy that tank, and then we start buying the sand and all the decorations and plants and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that was probably $100 or so like in the end after that. But then after Ella did die, I started researching hermit crabs like a lot. Like, that was just a little bit. Like, at the time, even though I knew about the humidity thing, I thought like just having her in that tank, it was fine. But she never even had a heat lamp or like a heating pad or anything like that. But she ended up living for like 2 years. I had her for like 2.5 years. And anyway, so I got a new tank after I started researching. Whenever I got my new hermit crabs, I still had the 5-gallon for a little bit, but then I ended up getting a 10-gallon, and then after I got the 10-gallon, I got a 20-gallon log, and now I have a heat lamp, I have decorations, I have substrate, I have sand, I have a saltwater dish, I have a regular water dish, I have the food, I have like all that, and I have like all natural shells. Don't buy pan shells, guys. They're more expensive and they're not good for your crabs. And so now I have everything that you need, and at the beginning we're like, wow, these are cheap. This is like cheap. This is great. I probably spent like I don't know. So like if that 10-gallon tank was about $15, that 5-gallon one was like $30. That's $45 plus all that stuff I bought in the beginning, plus $45, plus the heating lamp about $10, all the decorations. I don't even know, guys. The sand, $4 a bag. I probably bought, I don't know how many bags of that sand. Substrate, I bought the actual hermit crabs. I've had so many hermit crabs, guys. So the answer, if are hermit crabs cheap pets, if you're buying them all the right things that they really need to live and thrive and have a good life, then it's going to be expensive, and so basically they are expensive pets because you should be buying them all the things that they need. So yeah, I mean, they're definitely cheaper than lots of other animals. There's not a whole bunch of stuff you have to do for upkeep. I mean, you just mist their tank down like a couple times a day, and feed them every other day. Whenever the food starts getting bad, you just should take it out. So I mean, yeah, they are like, I'd say it's pretty expensive, but definitely not as expensive as other pets. So yeah, I think that's pretty much like my answer. It's just like, if you're giving them the right things, then it is. But even like whenever I wasn't, it was still pretty expensive. But yeah, and hermit crabs can actually live a really long life, so you really need to research hermit crabs a lot before you do end up buying them, unlike I did, because there's a lot of things to know about them that everyone should know, because they are actually pretty delicate animals. And yeah, so I think that's going to be all for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, everyone.